Hello, I'm here to talk to you about our country, the shape we're in. I'm sitting here as an amputee, blind in my right eye, quadruple bypass, threat of coronavirus, and I'm wearing a mask, not covering my nose, so you can hear me better and you can understand me better. These are things that I've come to live with. It's not the country I grew up in. Why didn't we close the borders before this got worse? Why don't we close the borders now? Why do we let 30,000 more people in? Yes, we all came from somewhere. But in my day, my relatives that weren't already Native Americans that came to this country from Germany and England had to work jobs to work their way out of the ghetto. They didn't get free housing, free board, money to start businesses. I'm a male. My skin says white. I'm a multicultural person. I was married to a 100% Italian girl. She died at 39 from leukemia. Left me with three boys. Because of the elements of the life that we live in, where the lesbians can now marry lesbians and homosexuals of the male orientation can marry each other. That's not what God intended. These things that are happening to our country are judgments, they're birthing pains. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, they're just not morally ethical. Look at what's going on with everybody. The government splits us up, they divide us. They put on an application: are you black? Are you white? Are you African? First of all, if you're an American, you're an American. I don't care what color you are, where you're from, or what you did. You're an American. Many of the Americans in our past history, which history doesn't always tell us the truth because the Civil War was not fought over slavery. That's a misconception. Do your history, do your reports, do your checking. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a liar. And actually, I'm a word man of God. I preach the gospel and I've taught, and I'm not thumping anybody to believe the way I believe. I'm not asking anybody to believe what I believe. I'm just asking you to be morally correct and understand. Years ago, you would steal my horse and we would hang you in a tree 100 years ago. And some people say, oh, that's barbaric. Well, is it more barbaric to hold me up at gunpoint, hijack my car, rape my wife, take my ATM card and beat me half to death or kill me, and then get total rehab? Don't talk to me about white privilege. I've never had white privilege in my life. I've worked for everything I've had. And now I sit here alone because my wife died, my fiance after 8 years, who, by the way, was black, and I was caring about her. She decided that she was going to drop me off at home after picking me up at the hospital. I'm sorry, and leaving me at home. Am I mad? Well, I was. I'm not mad anymore. I got to pray for her. And I got to lift her up. And I got to ask God to forgive her, even though I know that things are not going to go well for her because God doesn't like ugly. That's why He doesn't like what's going on in our country. We gave away everything we've ever had that was blessings. We've got people living in the streets that were once taxpayers and now can't count on the system to help them out when they need it, but we'll send millions of dollars overseas. And the poor guys, young guys, I saw a guy the other day in his 20s, came back from Iran and Iraq. You know what? I'm an amputee and I've had my share of problems. But you know what? I lived my life and didn't get diabetes and get really sick until in my late 60s. Been on hospice three times. Three times. But by the grace of God, I'm still here and I'm delivering this message. Those poor kids that come back, they got their whole lives ahead of them, have no arms, no legs, because we go over there and get interfered in something that we shouldn't be interfering with. Let them kill each other off if that's what they choose. We don't want anybody coming here to tell us how to live. Now you can say, "Oh, that's not right." That's right. We shouldn't take life out of our bodies. We can't put it back in. But every day we're doing it. Joe Biden, look what he's done. I'm not a I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, to tell you the truth. I'm a common sense person. And you know what? Joe Biden, in this is being made in March. In the few days he's been in office, January, February, and March. Now it's not even 2.5 months. He has caused people to lose their jobs. 10,000 people in the Keystone Pipeline, or more. I heard it was 81,000 between there and Canada, and then another thousands in Texas shutting down the oil rigs. And then all of a sudden, he's in bed again with the Chinese. And you people voted him in. Somebody voted him in, not me. I didn't vote. I'm not going to vote. Trump was a great economics guy, but he was terrible running his mouth, and that's what angered people. And then they brought in all these immigrants, illegal immigrants, and everybody, and gave them the song and the dance, and now they're taking care of them. They're going to give them everything. And the taxpayers that work for their living are going to get frustrated and give up and become part of the socialist society. Do you know where socialism is? Do you truly know? Most people don't even know. A lot of these young kids don't even know where the Civil War was fought or what it's over, but yet they're protesting to tear down Robert E. Lee, the Confederate flag, and all. That's history. That's history. I never owned a slave. I never hung a slave. I never been with a slave. I found a lot of beautiful women that are black or dark skinned or whatever, but there is no such thing as African American. That's like me saying I'm a North American American. You can't be African American. Africa's a continent. It's you could be Somalian American if you want to be, but I don't think you would want to be anything but American if you're an American. Why do you take such pride? Why do you want to come here? I've never seen anybody leaving here on an ironing board with a rubber raft underneath it to swim to Cuba or any of these other communist places. But they come from there to here to Florida. I'm in Florida right now. I'm from New York, so I've been north, south. I've been to Texas, as you see on my hat. I've been all over. People are the same everywhere. And don't tell me we stereotype, because I've talked to Spanish people and the real Spanish people, and I've talked to Cubans, I've talked to the Puerto Ricans, I've talked to the white folks, I've talked to the black folks, and I have friends with all these people. And the reason I'm saying that is the ones that work for a living are behind America 200%. And the ones that don't want to work want all the free stuff and say that everybody owes them a living. Well, nobody owes nobody nothing in this world. We're all here by the grace of God. God doesn't need us to kill anybody, kill each other, kill anything. He will take our breath away in a second. And I've been, like I said, on hospice 3 times. I've had 7 PICC lines, more than 3 treatments with vancomycin in the past 2 years. Vancomycin is the strongest antibiotic you could ever take. You can only take it for so long. I continue to go to an infectious disease doctor. I'm minus 1 leg now, most of my foot on my other leg, and I'm going to lose my other leg possibly. And I'm blind in my right eye, and my vision is impaired on my left eye. So you know what? With those things in mind, I'm still looking up. I'm saying, God, thank you, thank you, thank you. What do you want me to do next? I'm reporting for duty. I'm not telling God what I think he needs me to do. He don't need me to tell him anything. And even if you don't believe in God, just be morally, ethically correct. I see them burning Christians, the Chinese burning and taking down all the churches in China. I see them putting people in cages, the ISIS people, and they've set them on fire. How do you say you're working for God if you're setting people on fire? God's creation. How can you annihilate God's creation? I mean, I don't get it. This is America for Americans. If you want to be an American, you're welcome. We need to close the borders, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris. Or how many of those immigrants would you like to take home and be your guests for the next year? Not to cut your grass, not to clean your house, not to look down upon, or not for you to use them as a pennant waving flag to get votes, or tell them that, hey, if you register for me and you become a Democrat and you vote for me, I can get your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, whoever over here, I can help you. That happens. How about the guys we illegally obtain? They get out of jail, drive around drunk, kill somebody, and there's no accountability. But yet we're harassing these people that should never have went to the White House. That's not what I'm saying. They should never went to the Senate or Congress. They should never went to Washington the way they did. But they did. Did they do damage? Yes. Did they do any more than anybody else has ever done? Black lives matter? Yeah, all lives matter. Why don't we live with all lives matter? Why don't we all get together? What about the Native American Indian? I'm partially a Native American. We lost our country, my folks, my people. They lost our country. They're losing their way of life. They're almost extinct. We have the Washington Redskins. We don't have no Washington Negroes. I'm not being funny. I'm not being racist. I'm telling you the truth. Stop, stop, stop. How many times I hear black people use the N-word? Nobody should use the N-word. The N-word means low-class self-esteem person. You know what I mean? So it's not about color. It's not about race. It was used in the past, just like cracker was from people getting hit with a whip and cracking them on the back. Does that mean that we shouldn't say any of those racist things? So it's not the word, it's the intent. Stop. Everybody's got to stop. Everybody's got to stop. Stop taking. John Kennedy, who was a great liberal person in his day, and I was a kid, but I was alive, said, that's not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you. When was the last time somebody asked that, other than these poor guys that go overseas and die for the oil that we did in Vietnam? What's the matter with you people? I only say this stuff because it's not the America I grew up in. It's called the evolution of America. We're evolving into something that's never going to be returned and never going to be back. The family values are gone. You get 5 babies with 5 different guys. It's called baby's mama drama. Who pays for these kids? How do you have 12 kids, not a job or a job at McDonald's, nothing against McDonald's employees, and go out and have 12 kids and tell me you're supporting them and you're taking care of them? America, where are we? I don't care what color you are. That happens on both sides of the fence, every race. I love America. I love my country. I'm so saddened by what has happened. I sit here in a wheelchair with no legs, and you people are fighting over stupid ass shit. The government takes its time in helping people that are dying and starving every day. But if I'm from another country, oh, come on in. Come on in. What happened to me? I paid into the system. I am angry. I worked since I was 13. I'm 63 now. Where's the compassion for the other folks that can't advocate for themselves like I can? What's wrong with America? What's wrong with you? Wake up, Christians, stop taking a back seat. I don't applaud what they did in Washington, but I applaud something being done. I'm not an advocate of that kind of stuff. That was 200 years ago or 300 years ago when the Boston Tea Party did that, remember? But it was that was oppression. Well, we're being oppressed right now, the average person. You know what? I'm a white male according to the government. And you know what? I never had nothing given to me. I've washed toilets. I've washed toilets as an adult. I've cleaned houses. Been in production. I've been a manager of a plant. I've been a pastor. I'm telling you right now, we need to turn the tide. We need to get going. We need to get on board. This means starting another party or something. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I'm a member of the Common Sense Party. It's not really a party. It's just who I am. So don't get all like, where's this Common Sense Party? Because it's not the truth. But God doesn't want us to live like this. Global warming. How about that one? That's a good one. Al Gore and his global warming. Whatever happened to him? Well, he's flying around in that big expensive jet, burning all the carbon all over the place. And then he tells us there's global warming when we have snow and record history, snow and rain and such, and coldness that we've never had before throughout the history of the world. And it's a good thing we had the global warming. We'd had a lot more snow and a lot more rain. Just think about that. It could be a truth, but in 2,000 years that it's documented that the world has been around, some people say more with the dinosaurs and such, and there probably could have been, was, whatever. The world hasn't changed that much. It's changed a lot, but we haven't gotten any closer to the sun and the ozone layer. If that's because of man-made elements such as hairsprays and stuff, okay, we'll cut back on that. But don't tell me that there's global warming and then I got to stop throwing my banana peel in the garbage, or I can't use a plastic straw. We need to find a way to destroy and eliminate the plastic straws, melt them down, reuse them. I don't know, or stop making them and make them paper. I don't know. Like they used to do years ago with that Nesquik. They used to put the chocolate inside the straw, and you put the straw in your milk, and you would have a chocolate milk through a straw. I don't know what the answer is, but there's more answers than what we have. Is the world a better place? No, it's not. People say, "Oh, it's a better place." It's not. Look around you, blacktop, garbage. Go down the highways up north. Go up from New York. In the highways, the roads are bad. I see people throwing stuff out their window, just throwing it on the ground. People throwing stuff out their apartment windows in subsidized housing in the Bronx, in the hood. Open the window, just throw the bag of garbage out. Now, are they color black skin? Are they white skinned? Are they yellow? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care what color you are. Again, I keep saying it because it doesn't matter. Why can't we all just, as Rodney King said one time, why can't we all just get along? What's wrong with people? No morals, no values, no ethics, no common sense, no studying for yourself, just believing what the guy says on the internet. That's where the word fake news comes in. Some of it is fake, some of it's not. How do you start it when you don't know? How do you read something when you can't read Chinese? I say that because people that look at stuff don't understand things sometimes. The younger generation, they can make anything on a computer work. They can make anything on a cash register work. But if you gave them $1 and you bought something for 87 cents, they don't have sense enough, a lot of them, to figure out that you have to have 13 cents change without a calculator, computer, or register, cash register. That's the way the world is today. Can they balance a checkbook? No. What is that going to do for their economic forecasts, for their financial abilities? But we're too busy teaching them about Islam and about other cultural exchanges, they call it. or we can't open a Bible in the classroom when the classrooms were started to teach the Bible in its day. The schools were actually started to teach people how to read a Bible, and they taught that to the farmers' kids. And they would send them to school, and then they eventually evolved into math. They call it the 3 R's, which is really not 3 R's. It's called reading, writing, and arithmetic. So we owe a lot to God. We owe a lot to get back to the basics. We're one of the youngest countries in the world with the most to offer, but we can't give it away. We need to close the borders. We need to regroup. We need to take care of the coronavirus 1, 2, and now I understand there's a 3 up in someplace in New York or someplace. You can say, oh, this has been like the Spanish flu and this is like other things. It is not. It is not. It's an attack by somebody someplace. And I pray to God that he takes it away and he cleans up this country. He's already in my heart put it's going to be a long time before we see the end of the rainbow here. Now we're seeing some results with some of this COVID testing and some of these drugs. We're having trouble. Here's another one. We're having trouble getting it to the marketplace, getting it to the people. And I hear about stories where they're throwing it out because it's not refrigerated or frozen long. I don't understand all the mechanics. I don't understand why you would throw something out. I don't understand why you would let it go that far. I don't understand, but the government wants to control us more and more. But they can't take care of what they do now. They can't take care of Social Security, Medicaid. They can't take care of welfare fraud. They can't take care of distributing of medicine in a pandemic. How can they help you do more? Socialism is for those that don't want to work, and you won't be able to sit home and play video games all day, kids, and smoke weed. It's not going to happen when socialism. You're not going to have no money for the weed. You're not going to have no money for the games. And you're going to be out plowing the field, working for the man like you ain't never worked before. Socialism has never worked out in any country it's ever been in. Ask them all. Why do you think Russia's semi like us? They're still under Vladimir Putin. But again, even in Cuba, it didn't work out. And we helped Cuba many times. The whole world owes us. We don't owe them nothing. Again, I'm glad you listened. I hope I put some food for thought in your head. And if I feel blessed enough and I feel well enough, I will do another video. God bless America. God bless you for living. If you don't believe in God, may you be blessed anyways. Keep looking up. The trees and the flowers look up because that's where God is. And that's the only way we're going to grow. So look up. God bless and thank you for listening. Amen.